Hey, Kyle here from ifisave.com. Today, I want to talk about budgets. I know, stop, don't go away. We're going to talk about three things. If you can stick with me for a minute, talk about the three ways to use a budget to actually help you curb spending, put money where it needs to be able to save for things, and use that budget wisely. So, hang on real quick and let's go through this tool. The first way we use budgets a lot of times is by being reactive and learning from the past. We basically have a budget that just runs, right? This budget here actually from ifisave.com auto syncs with your accounts, so it can tell you kind of how you're spending, how much you're spending, and you just let it run on autopilot and then come at the end of the month and say, oh, I spent over $600 more than I thought I was going to spend on groceries, right? That's one way to do it. You can learn from this, of course. You can go down and see what your big ticket items were. You can see if you maybe need to adjust and do things differently. One thing you can actually do with this app is you can see, or you can actually split a category or a transaction up into a couple of categories. In this case, you're splitting this between shopping and groceries. It's a Costco trip, right? So you can actually really be granular in your estimations. So then, if for say maybe I'm partway through the month, or in this case I've already gone through my spending for the month, it'll tell you how you did that. It'll give you a little bit of a tip on maybe what you were doing that could be adjusted. And it looks like you had three transactions that were over $200 in that situation. Here, you're getting close to the end of the month, but you actually, if you were to average it out over the month, you don't have enough left. So in this case, it says you only have $4, a little over $4 left, and you spent $170 on the Wall Street Journal. That might have put you over the edge on what you're looking at spending, right? So these are just ways to reactively use a budget. And while reaction is good and it can help you see things like how much a spouse is spending, for instance, or how much you're spending that you don't realize. Anyway, a better way to go about it maybe would be the second option right here, is to be proactive. Being proactive, you set your goals at the beginning of every month. You actually go through and you plan out how much you're going to spend. Say you have an auto repair is happening and you need to plan for it in that month and not use savings. You can change your allocation for this budget, set that allocation, and then we have your total allocation and budget versus income. So you can know if you're around 100%, you want to get that number to 100. So you might come down and adjust another budget down, right, to get yourself balanced, and that's what we call a balanced budget, right? So and then you have this trending data to know, hey, I really like to spend money there, right? So maybe it would be a good idea if I was really careful with the dining out, right? Maybe I cut back to once a week going out, or maybe I have a big auto repair and I just cut my dinners out or lunches out completely, take lunch to work. So that's being proactive, and that's really the best way if you're going to try to really save money, is by being proactive. The reactivity helps you learn your spending habits, but being proactive can really help drive your savings and doing things that you want to do. And then step 3 is long-term planning. So with long-term planning, things are coming, like for instance, an auto insurance payment or a vacation, right? So what you do is you set up a long-term goal. Come here and you set up the long-term goal. When you create it, you set it up as recurring, what it is, how often you have to pay this bill, or what your target is here, and then what your target amount is, the current total. Well, you can actually assign it to an account. So in this case, we're setting it to the savings account. You can create as many sub-savings account as you want at most banks. Use that as a way to help yourself track these sinking funds so you can save the money before you actually owe it, right? And then you can actually link it to a budget. But if you don't link it to a budget, it actually will create a fund budget for you. So we're gonna go back to the main page and look at that, right? So if we go to the monthly budgets again, and we look down at the bottom, we have our fund for the auto insurance payment, right? So we have $425 that we need to put in there every month, right? And currently we have $900, and we haven't put any of that 425 in this month. So it'll actually tell you when you put the 425 in that you've actually hit your goal for this for funding this long-term goal. So if you do this, you can keep track, and you can better meet that goal by putting in a little bit every month. I know this isn't a little bit, putting in money every month. That way you don't have to come to the end and owe the whole 2,600, right? So that is the last step in budgeting, and that's called a sinking fund, or we call it the long-term savings goals or long-term goals. Okay, so we've talked about budgets and the 3 ways to use them: being reactive, being able to react to spending patterns and behaviors, and being able to see things when they're happening. Number 2 is being proactive and setting goals for each budget every month, so you know how much you're spending and where your money's going on purpose, right? And not being directed by your spending, but directing your spending. And number 3 was setting up long-term goals, because long-term goals can kill your monthly budget if you're not planning for them. When a long-term spending has to happen, you're going to take that money out of other funds, out of savings, out of or even going to debt for it, right? So setting up long-term funds, right? I hope this tool can help you. If you don't use this tool, use something else. But it's free at ifisave.com. You can, if you want to use auto sync with your bank, there's a small fee because that costs money to us. But I want to help you by providing this for you to use. So please take advantage. If you like the video, like or follow, and if it's YouTube, please subscribe. It does help us to bring content to our channel. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.